One of the things that I hear a lot from Christians is always spiritual versus secular. And we love to talk about how many things are secular, quote unquote, how many things are spiritual. And I fought that most of my life. Um, you know, we always learn a lot from retrospect, meaning that when things are all finished, we can look back on them and think, well, I might have done that a little differently. And very honestly, there are some things that I might have done a little differently, especially in music. I think I've been very much a part of creating this chasm between spiritual and secular for a long time. And during those days when Christian music wasn't really being pushed very much on secular labels, see, there we go, Christian secular, but you know what I mean. We had to do something, and so we started labels. We started, this whole Christian metal genre, and it's kind of grown and blossomed from there. But these days, I just kind of feel like I wish I would have pushed a little harder to get a lot of bands on secular labels. Because I think we created kind of a mindset where if something was termed Christian, then you could only listen to that and everything else was harmful. Now, I don't believe that you have to listen to just Christian music. I really don't believe that. I listen to a wide variety of things, but I am careful. And, I did a podcast the other day on violent and horror movies and video games. And I got a lot of interesting response on that one, and I appreciate your comments. But the same things could be said about music too, and I really feel strongly about that. I love music. I love everything from Elvis to Meshuggah, everything in between. And I like a lot of styles of music. And people say, what kind of music do you like? And I always say good music. If it's done well, I like it. But having said that, I am also particular about lyrical content. And I feel like that if the lyrics don't really match my lifestyle, then I really don't want to listen to it because I don't want that feeding my brain either. And there's enough great music out there not to have to listen to stuff that I kind of have to fight with to listen to. You know what I'm saying? But I think it gives us a wide option of things that are available. Now, I remember years ago when one very popular band that I've worked with over the years wrote a song that was very controversial, and the singer actually wrote a song, a love song to his wife, and he didn't make it sound like it was to God. He made it sound like it was to his wife, and people were upset with that. They said, "Well, how can you put a secular song on a Christian label?" Now, I think we're a little past that point now, but you understand the mindset, and we're still there. And people assume that if a Christian band, for instance, is on a Christian label, that the band is great, they're following the Lord, their lives are in check, that they have a great solid belief system, all of those kinds of things. And let me tell you, after doing this for 40 years, that's not necessarily true. I know a lot of bands that are on secular labels that have much better spiritual lives than a lot of bands that are on Christian labels. You can't distinguish that way. And by the way, folks, I think sometimes we kind of create a bit of a cult following, and I don't think that's healthy either. These days, if I could level the playing field and take away these words spiritual and secular and just call it music, I'd do that in a second. But I do that with a lot of things. You see, I think when we begin to compartmentalize, we lose our creative edge. And I think that is so important. When we feel like we have to say just the right things, we have to use the word Jesus at least 5 times in every song. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. Then I think we lose our creativity. There's so many things we can sing about, so many things we can write about, so many things we can talk about. I found this quote the other day that I thought was great. It says, "A creative adult is a child who survived." Don't you like that? But that is it. If we continue to be creative in childlike faith and don't let all these rules and regulations get in the way. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't live according to Scripture. I'm not saying we shouldn't pursue holiness. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is that sometimes we let man-made rules and our ideas of spiritual versus secular get in the way. So I hope you'll begin to enjoy, especially the arts. I mean, I'm a huge fan of music. I'm a huge fan of literature, poetry, novels, anything. And art, man, I have art on my walls, and I appreciate people that have that talent. Love going to museums. So I'm a connoisseur. I don't know that much about it, so maybe I can't use that word, but I enjoy it. And I hope you do too. And I enjoy the fact that there are still some very creative people out there doing great things. And I hope you're one of them. God bless you. Have a great day.